Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Boys Play D&D. Tonight on our journey through Saltmarsh, we will pick up where we left off on the docks. Last session, the boys finished killing the skeletal alchemist, right at the end of the first session, and they took a quick short rest to lick their wounds before continuing through the caverns. They then leveled up and hit level 2. They then continued to explore a bit more of the caves. Or sorry, not skeletal alchemist, the wizard, and then they took the short rest in level 2. They explored more of the caves. They found a small cove with a boat. Since the group was split last session, the three members that weren't there, their characters stayed behind and loaded the casks of brandy and the bolts of silk onto the boat that they found, with the plan to steal the boat and use it to get some of the party back to shore. The remaining group went upstairs and explored the remainder of the house. They encountered a swarm of spiders, some sturges, a bit of treasure, a lot of mold. And they found a few interesting tidbits of information while exploring up there. Bobson discovered the likely location that the smugglers were using to signal the ship out in the waters. And they also found a pair of a set of cut ropes that they think might be tied to the person or the noise that they heard earlier in the day with the person running out of the house. They then kind of collected their loot, discussed for a bit, and decided to take a long rest in the house to see if the smuggling boat would come back. They had a bunch of different watches posted throughout the night, and they never really noticed anything. In the morning, they were awoken by Herman yelling outside, kind of squeamishly, to see if anybody was okay and alive in the house. And the group approached that by using a disguise self spell to make, or I guess Kalendal used a disguise self spell to make himself appear like a zombified burn victim. And they scared the shit out of Herman, literally. After an epic monologue and an assistant poke with an unseen servant by Bobson, he ran away after not following up on anything that he intended to do. And then the rest of the group walked back to the town, and Wendell, Bobson, and Richard sailed the boat back to the harbor. So we start off our session today with all of you guys have just meeting up at the kind of busy harbor, as a lot of the local fishermen are starting to go out to sea, since it is in the morning.
So where we're meeting back up at the docks?
Yep, you guys started at the docks. I will bring you to the map if I can find my Roll20, which is apparently vanished.
The other boats back? The one with the loot?
Yeah, I didn't look up how long or how fast boats are, and didn't triangulate the distance, so you guys are getting there at the same time, conveniently. So you guys are basically on dock labeled 19.5. That would be Ida's dock that Richard would be familiar with, and that's where his personal little rowboat is parked as well.
So the boat that we brought back, that was mostly full of like ale and stuff?
Yeah, it had, I believe, 13 caskets of ale.
Caskets?
Casks. Not again. Man, 13 casks of brandy.
So, what's the plan? Where shall we be taking this brandy? Are we taking it to the... I'm not sure how the town is run here. I'm new, but to the mayor of the town and be like, "Look, we found that there were smugglers and we cleared them out." Or
No, that's not where we take it. Take it back to my place. We'll find a good place for it there.
sit or to
not,
drink, because that is a
young
lot
man.
of liquor.
We should take it to the local constabulary.
The constabulary.
The what?
Police.
Oh! Why didn't you say that?
Otherwise known as the fuzz or the po-po. In certain circles that I've traveled around, I've been all sort of different places. They've got different names for it.
Well, I'm going to keep one of
We're
these
talking
for
about
my hard
fuzz.
work, and I'm going to throw one of the casks in my own boat.
That is understandable. Perhaps. Well, I believe the tavern is quite empty at this point. The everyone's traveling around, correct? Going out fishing.
Yeah. It's still in the middle of Richfest, but it's kind of getting towards the end of Richfest. Yesterday in particular was a kind of the Greyhawk equivalent of Sunday, so kind of more the day of worship. So there was a bit more than people than usual drinking. So there is, people still got to earn their living. So while there is, you guys would know that people still, party and stuff on this day, there'd be less partying.
At this point, I probably would have just strolled right past you with my fishing line and my gear and been like, "Oh, didn't expect to see you guys so soon. I see you're all still together. I thought maybe it was possible that we were just one and done."
Everyone here is kind of fun. And that was interesting. Like, I never explored a haunted house before. That was cool.
I just believe that we may have to tie up these loose ends to this adventure, record our findings, and let the townsfolk know what was actually going on.
Well, perhaps I left too early. If you don't mind, I'd like to rejoin you.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Local legends around here.
Oh, and we will be much more larger legends by the end of the night, I assure you. I've got some work to do, and I grab out some papers, and you just see me start writing some stuff down, scratching things out. I appear to be preparing a performance of some kind. And I will be hard to reach at this point. I'll basically be following you guys around and thinking quite hard and going, "Oh, yes," kind of going through prose at this point.
All right. So as you guys are on the dock talking amongst yourself, figuring out what to do, you're approached by, well, a familiar face from this morning. Herman walks up, and you hear from behind you guys. How are you here?
I just go, woo.
What happened at the house? I thought you were all dead.
Herman, buddy, old pal, I think you just had too much to drink. Remember what happened last time?
I didn't even start drinking yet this morning.
Exactly. That's how much you had last night.
His eyes kind of gloss over as he's, yeah, maybe I was still drunk. So what happened? I've never heard of anybody having stayed in the house more than minutes.
I will be able to give you a better summary in a few hours here. I'm currently working up a rough draft to explain the story. If the other ones would like to give you a short little update, it would be probably, a little bit of a, but not quite as good of a reveal. But if you want to wait that long, that's fine by me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm busy thinking about other things, and I go back down to notes. Sorry, I got a little tongue tied there.
I'll just start talking to Herman about all the crazy shit that was happening in the house.
He is,
There was a bunch of dust and like some rot grubs, and they were gross. And there's this really, really old guy, like somehow older than Bobson. I don't know if that was possible. Etc., etc.
That wasn't undead, you young whippersnapper.
I don't know what that is. But he was really old, like, he was like a skeleton guy. It was weird.
actually, I think Bobson is technically older than the skeleton guy.
I mean, Wendell doesn't know that. He saw, like, walking skeleton dude, and he thought he's just super old.
Fair. Skeleton. So it was haunted.
Yeah, well, at least, like, one room was. Everything else was just, like, old. Covered in dust and, like, spiders and stuff.
Oh, and there was also smugglers. And I go back to my paper.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, there were some dudes in the basement. I think they were, like, smugglers. They had a bunch of ale. Maybe it was brandy. I don't remember.
Wow. If there was truly smugglers in there, and did you guys deal with them?
Yeah, they're all taking a nap, I think. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, honestly.
Well, I'm impressed. I've walked up to that house once a week for the last 10 years, and nobody's ever went in.
For the last 10 years.
That's because you're all a bunch of cowards.
That's right.
As I slap him on the shoulder.
You've never had a group like us before.
Well, I gotta head out on my fishing boat, but if I catch you guys at the tavern later, I'll round on me.
I'll take you up on that.
If you did dispatch with some smugglers this close to Saltmarsh, you should maybe go and talk to the council.
I suppose that would be the thing to do.
I guess.
And then Herman kind of sheepishly walks off, since he's kind of ashamed of himself for abandoning you guys. And is also really confused about what he saw this morning. Or what he might not have saw, and he's not really sure anymore.
Does anyone know any words that rhyme with goat?
With goat?
Yes, with goat.
He just sits there thinking.
Did he say boat? Well, you guys
Boat
think we
is
should
actually, I could work with that. I go back to writing again. Carry on.
All right, so you guys.
Where's Logan?
What are we standing around here for?
You want
Let's
to talk
go
to town
turn
council?
this in.
Yeah, Logan's dude is with you guys.
Yep. Let's talk to the council and get it done quick. I best be back to the shop right away.
Okay.
Walking towards the
Okay.
council.
I don't remember which house is the council house, but Craig's guy does. That's number 14.
Okay.
All right, so you guys start heading to the council.
All right.
As you guys walk past the door of an anvil, Catelyn, you notice that they have started work already.
Oh, do any of them see me?
Nope.
Alright, just try to get low and get past it as fast as I can.
All right, yeah, you guys head down the street to the council. I'm assuming you just leave your 2 boats there for the meantime, and
Yeah,
Tugboat can keep an eye on them.
side.
yeah, there's definitely room there. It's a big dock, and the ships at this point have kind of already left. So, and the dock hands there know who you are, Richard, so they're not questioning it too much.
Sounds good.
All right, so you arrive at the council house. Let me get a description for the council house if it exists. It's a 50-50 if there's actually a description or not.
There's always one if you make it up.
True. All right, so as you guys approach, it's a very large brick building. It it contains a few offices and kind of like a council chamber. It's built from a mixture of sturdy stone and a variety of different nicely crafted hardwood accents. There's a wooden sign above the door that's a net filled with fish. That's what the sign kind of has drawn on it or carved into it. There's a small tower that rises from the building with a big horn at the top, which Richard points out is blown to announce whenever a council session is happening or another significant event is taking place in the council hall.
So is this the sort of place you would walk in? Like just walk in and there'd be like a secretary, or do we knock?
Yeah, it'd be like the Brooks Hall. You just walk in.
Alright. I will begin to walk in then.
All right. You walk in, and for the most part, the interior of the building looks similar to the exterior. It's kind of stone laden, a lot of brickwork, and everything's kind of accented in various colors of hardwood, carved hardwood. It's a very nice looking structure compared to the house you were just at. And walking around inside, there's only one person that you guys can see. And Craig, I think a few of you would recognize her as a familiar face of
Oh!
Ida.
Oh, she looks like the woman at the end of the Titanic.
Oh, baby.
She's hot and single for Bobson.
She's a bit young for Bobson.
Oh,
Oof.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
hello, Ida. How have you been?
I do not have an Ida voice.
You do now.
Do your granny voice.
Oh, you know, I've been pretty good. The fish this week haven't been too great.
Oh, that's because I took a day off. And I'm gonna wink at her.
Oh, Richard, you always were a jokester.
Hmm?
Oh, what can I do for you?
Well, me and this gang of misfits came across some smugglers and a bunch of wine, or brandy, or
I think it was brandy.
some sort of alcohol.
Where?
In the old haunted house that no one's ever always too scared to go into.
You guys went up to the haunted house?
It was weird.
Copperlocks was mentioning that the group was heading up there, but I assumed it was just Herman and his crew, like every week.
Well, it started out that way.
Had to prove Herman wrong for once.
Huh. Well, nobody's ever... Well, I don't remember anybody ever going in there. So you found some smugglers?
Because I've never been part of the group. Bob's and Dugnut, pleased to meet you.
Ada Owland, as she reaches out to shake your hand.
Definitely all mine.
Their arms are just creaking towards each other.
It's a lot of arthritis.
It's definitely the slowest and oldest flirting you've ever seen.
It is very awkward. For some reason, the Ida pop-up did not show up on my stream monitor. And I can't make it show up.
I might have to put it so we can all see it, like put it all in all our journals.
Another question here. Does anyone know anything that rhymes with adored?
Okay, yep, that was the problem. Okay, that's what she looks like. Now you guys should all be able to see the pop-up.
Oh,
With the
I want to
door.
see.
Oh, yeah.
So where was you guys dealt with some smugglers.
Yeah, they were like in the basement of the house. They had like a hall they could go through. It was weird.
What are you guys talking about?
Something that rhymes with adored.
Don't.
This is just going closer and closer to Gerbeck's voice.
Make it more shaky and old.
Uh,
There we go.
Could you tell me some more about these smugglers?
Perfect. Well, we found some in the basement. Seemed like they were living there. We found some more behind a secret door. And they seem to have a captain of sorts down there. And more smuggled goods. It seemed that they've been signaling a larger ship and smuggling in goods underneath that house.
Can you show me the goods that you found? You think you mentioned you brought them, but if not, disregard this. I'm pretty sure you guys mentioned you brought them.
I think we have the kegs. Are we carrying them all? Or they would have been on Richard's boat, right?
Yeah, they'd be on her dock, in her boat.
Ah. Well, we found several casks of brandy, and we found some of these. And he's gonna pull out one of the bolts of silk.
Oh, those look familiar. Well, I'm glad to have nipped, I guess, a bit of that problem in the bud, but you mentioned they were probably signaling another ship. Did you deal with that as well?
We stayed the night and watched out for the but we were unable to find it, or it was not the right time.
Well, I think we should... Well, I'll bring this up with the council and we'll come up with a plan to deal with that larger ship.
If the city guard is too busy to deal with it, I believe we'd be for hire if the price was right. I look around at the group to see if they nod or fuck off.
I'm just rolling my eyes, like, you know, the city guard won't handle this.
I will waive my usual fee if I could just go on one date with the most beautiful woman in town.
Who's that?
Why, you, of course, my dear.
I'm flattered, but I'm far too busy.
Bobson, just his face sinks even more. Somehow that's possible. In all the wrinkles. He's the saddest you've ever seen.
Oh. Well, for dealing with the first part of the smugglers, I can offer you this. We have a fee for when people bring us proof. So, I guess with that silk, if you can show me the brandy, I can give you some reward.
The brandy's at her own dock, right?
Yeah, it's just sitting in your guys' second boat.
Yeah. Well, we can go back and get it, or you can come with us.
Yeah, I'll come with you. I'll see how my fishermen are off.
I'm gonna lean back and whisper to whoever's beside me that's not Bobson. If we're waiting for these two, we might have to book a couple hours to walk back.
We better take it easier. They may never make it back.
Alright, so if you guys head back to the boat to show her.
Yep.
Alright, well, she walks surprisingly quick for how old she appears.
Oh, she's fit, Bobson.
Fair amount of stamina, I'd say.
As she has a lot of stuff to get done and doesn't have time to get old yet.
If only I were 200 years younger.
Alright, well, yeah, that's definitely brandy. Those... There's no identifying marks that it's smuggled. But yeah, I guess with you showing us that, I can pay you some amount for the dealing with the smugglers on contingency that you help us deal with the larger problem that is their ship.
If you don't seem to believe us, perhaps we could take you back to the haunted house and show you all the nappers.
No, I'm far too busy to travel to that house.
Well, if you would send some guard over there to make sure we're not lying. It was a dire situation indeed.
Plus, it probably wouldn't be the best for us to be seen walking around the city with dead people on our shoulders.
Yeah, I'll send the guard. Don't worry.
Head straight for the basement and watch for bugs.
For bugs?
Oh yes.
I'll tell them.
If If a disembodied voice starts shouting at you, don't worry about it.
Perhaps don't tell them that. They're already cowardly enough.
No, we should warn them. It's a simple enchantment. It is a magic mouth at the top of the kitchen stairs.
Oh yeah, there was that one too.
A disembodied voice?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll warn them.
Magic, smugglers, ghosts.
The
We've seen every.
smugglers wanted to scare people off to hide their operations. They made up the haunting and trapped the house with spells to trigger if anybody were to search it.
Yeah, now that you guys put it together, that makes a lot of sense. She kind of pulls out a coin purse and I have I can reward you guys with 210 gold for handling that part.
Wow, that's a lot.
Hey, I hold in my excitement.
Not each total.
Leader, I will make sure that the recompense is disbursed. And I reach out for the purse.
She shakily hands you the coin purse.
I just tuck it into my robes.
Strength save. He tucks it in his robes.
He's walking with a limp now.
Nice.
Is there any other evidence that you guys had, like maybe how they got goods into the house?
There seemed to be a cavern of sorts that connected the ocean to the underneath.
She kind of sits there and thinks for a minute kind of about how that shoreline's lined up. How low was the cavern?
How low?
Yeah, like, could they drive a boat into it?
They drove a smaller boat in, yes.
This boat, to be exact. I assume we're still standing at the docks with the brandy.
Yep. Oh. Well, I'll bring this evidence to the rest of the council. Why don't you meet us at the council hall tomorrow night? And we'll deliberate further on what to do next.
Sounds good.
Thanks for doing this.
Just give her a thumbs up. Anything for you, Ida. Oh, Bobson's got some competition.
Oh. Is Ida taking off?
Yep, Ida is heading back towards the council hall. She yells out a few, or I guess stops at kind of the front of the dock and talks to one of the dock hands for a little bit, and then continues to the council hall.
I nudge Gringus, and it was like, I hate to see her go, but just watch her leave.
What do I see when I'm watching Ida leave?
Oh no.
What do you expect to see when you watch an old person leave?
She walks pretty fast. She's probably pretty fit.
Yeah, she's not old enough where she's hobbling. Like, she is, walking normal.
Put some nice tight granny ass over there.
She's a human?
Yeah, she's a human.
So she's like 80?
Yeah, like a 70-year-old human. 70, 75.
Don't you think you're robbing the cradle there, Bobson?
If she waits any longer, she'll be dead.
So will he?
I'm sure he's practiced some necromancy in his days.
Oh,
Don't worry, Bobson. We'll help you win her over.
Oh, Ida forgot to mention something before she left. You guys can keep these goods, but you probably won't have much luck selling them around Saltmarsh.
Well, perhaps we'll drink them ourselves.
hey, isn't it still like a holiday? What if we just like brought it to a tavern and gave it away for free?
People.
How would you do that? You heard what she said. I'm gonna toss
perhaps we
a couple casks in my other boat.
Perhaps we should open our own tavern.
Or we could charge them a premium for haunted ale.
Ooh, I like that idea too.
But yeah, now Ida is gone.
Well, Bobson, if you've got my cut, I best be getting back to work before Yasker loses his mind.
Let's just me to count it out. 1,
Oh,
2,
Oh no.
3, 4.
I'm gonna hop in my boat and go fishing for the day.
I forgot where I was. 1,
oh my god.
2. I'm just kidding. So I give out everybody's shares.
I'm assuming you guys were nice and cut Logan it.
He is here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
somebody can do the
210?
math.
Yep.
Divided by 7?
I conveniently made it so it was perfectly divisible by 7.
So that's 30 each?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yay.
Alright, so you guys successfully kind of stopped the first ring of smugglers, even though you didn't know you were needed to. Were rewarded and met with one of the councilmen, or council members, and now have kind of a pretty much 2 full days to do whatever you want to get up to in Saltmarsh.
Ooh.
Because yeah,
I'm gonna
they
take all my brandy and go fishing.
Nice.
all right.
I'm going to be busy recording the event and taking down papers for it, writing as much information as I could remember, and my current little project that I'm working on right now.
To whoever's around me, I'm just gonna ask. Since we will be working together in the future, would one of you be able to loan me 47 gold?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll give him 47 gold.
Oh my god.
Excellent. This will allow me to identify any magical items we encounter.
That could come quite in handy.
Now, Richard, is there a jeweler in town or somewhere where I could buy gems and such?
I think so.
Would I know it as well because I have jeweler's tools?
Yeah, you guys. So I guess Richard
I would. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for them. See it.
would point out the weekly market, number 15.
Excellent. Well, that is where I will be if anybody cares to join me.
All right. Stay safe.
Or I've got a quick question for you. What is the name of that weapon you're carrying there? Or is it just got what type of weapon?
Wait, were you talking to me?
Gore, yeah.
I'm carrying. This is my special lance. I call it the Soul Piercer.
Ooh, that's going to fit in quite nicely. Carry on.
Glad to help.
And Gringus wanders back to work.
All right. So yeah, I guess as Gringus heads to work.
Might as well fish.
Well, I'm gonna go fish for a little while since I already have my fishing rod.
I'll follow Bobson to the market.
All right. So Craig and Gore are going fishing. Callan's going to work. Brett's focusing on writing his riveting performance.
Yep.
And Logan's doing Logan things, and the remainder are Logan's watching the brandy in the boat.
Huh.
And the remainder are going to the market.
Sounds right.
All right. So we'll start with the market folks. So, yeah, as you guys kind of walk down, you did walk just by it, like not even half an hour ago. It's kind of what it appears on the map. I don't have a battle map for it, unfortunately. Coming soon, TM. It's a market built around the first well that was dug for the fishers in the town's early days. There is a large market square, and there is merchants of all descriptions that gather on the kind of the first day of each week to sell their wares. The market originally was established to sell fish, but now it pretty much sells everything. You gather just from kind of looking around at the various long tables and different merchants that are sitting there, that anything that's in the player's handbook that's worth less than about 150 gold you can find at this market.
All right. Well, I'm just looking for a pearl worth 100 gold pieces.
All right, so you walk around the market for a bit, and after some time you come across a stall that's selling various jewelries.
Hey, you kept all the gold, hey?
Oh no, I doled it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good sir, I would like to purchase a fine pearl.
Yes, I do believe I have a pearl. What kind of pearl are you looking for?
One that is valued at 100 gold pieces.
All right, you kind of see him. Yeah, just a moment. And he ducks behind his stall, and he digs around a little bit, and he pulls out kind of a brown jewelry box with a glass top and opens it, and there's kind of a nice inlay, and inside there's a pearl, and he's like, this is I think the closest I have. I could sell it to you for 110 GP. Or it's worth 110 GP, and that's what he's gonna sell it to you for.
Yeah, I only have 100 gold pieces on me. I can count them if you wish. 1, 2,
God.
3, 4. Now, where was I? Oh, sorry, I've lost count. Let me begin again.
105.
2, 3.
Please, sir, I have many other customers.
4, 5. And eventually I count to exactly 100 and my purse is empty.
As you can see, only 100 gold pieces.
I'll tell you what. I'm here every week. You can bring me the other 5. Or, if you got something to barter with, I'm willing to trade.
Gotta look at my inventory. Don't think I have anything to barter with. Nope. I take out some a piece of parchment and I write I owe you 5 gold pieces and I sign it Bobson Dugnut.
This is as good as gold. My word is my bond. I will bring you the 5 gold pieces.
Alright, that sounds good. People in this town are pretty honest. And I've seen you around once or twice.
Alright, well, pleasure doing business with you.
And I'll take the pearl and give him 100 gold and the IOU.
Alright, yeah, he takes the pearl out of the fancy display case and hands it over. And remember, if you ever need more jewelry, you can come back to I have a name for him. Proud Step Jewelers.
Excellent. It was my first choice in all of my gemmery needs.
And yeah, I'll just slowly shuffle away.
As he just starts, you there, sir, would you like anything? And he's just pointing to the next customer in line.
Who's had to wait like half an hour as I count out gold coins one by one.
Yeah, that guy patiently waited for you to count out the gold.
A nice fella.
He's not gonna cast Finger Death as we walk away? Or walk away?
Nope. It's uncommon that he sells a pearl worth that much, so he was willing to wait patiently. Especially because he could see the purse that had a decent amount of money in it. Alright, Wendell, were you just following Bobson, or were you looking for something?
I was mostly just following Bobson. I probably would have wandered around a little bit, but I don't think there's anything I would have wanted to grab.
Alright. So yeah, you guys... we'll jump over to the next person that was happening in concurrency. Which I think was just Catelyn going to work.
And the fishermen's.
True. Yeah, well, we'll do Catelyn first. So I need to find names.
Yeah, screw Mafera.
Oh yeah, I reorganized this and actually have NPCs.
I don't know if it's Mafera or Mafera.
Whatever one you want. She looks like a Mafera to me. Alright, yeah, as you walk up, you ask her, he's the only one you see working. Mafera's probably back in the office. I actually do even have a battle map for the Dwarven Anvil, but it's really scuffed looking.
Put it on.
I'm gonna... wait, I gotta put all the people on so there's light, because I even put dynamic lighting on for whatever reason.
You're gonna have a battle at my fucking workplace?
Hey man.
Cowabunga it is.
Can you see my shack I live in?
Not on this battle map, but I can I do want to make a battle map that has your 3 shack.
Hey, no place like a home.
All right, there's Catlin's workplace. So yeah, it's a forge. It's a pretty simple forge. It is a very clearly dwarvish forge, but it is not run by dwarves.
Not yet.
It is, yeah, it's a single anvil, and it's basically a forge where kind of the 2 people work, with a little office behind it that kind of handles the orders. All right, so as you walk up, Yasker kind of yells over to you, Gringus, where have you been?
Oh, you'll never believe the haul I've got. And I slam my backpack down and start pulling shit out of it. Yeah, I would just dump everything I picked up from the dungeon right on the floor in front of him.
Like all the silk, all the
Like
daggers,
gold
and all the...
bones, lantern, the coat, candles, flint and steel, 3 long swords, 2 long bows, 30 arrows, bolts of silk, scimitar, crossbow, shield, hobgoblin, scale mail, and the gem from a fireplace.
Oh, that's a lot of fish hooks.
Fish hooks.
Yeah, we could turn it all into fish hooks. That's what this town buys.
Of course, always the fish hooks. I'll be keeping some of these for myself, you know.
Yes, of course. That's... where'd you find those?
We finally managed to make it all the way into the haunted house this week. Didn't you see me walking by?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't know where you were going. The haunted house isn't that way.
We're being led by Herman again.
Ah. Yeah, when he gets drunk some days.
Oh, I know. Well, I probably got a big back order of hooks to start making.
Yeah, we need to get to work.
And yeah. So I will give to the shop all the weapons and garbage that I don't want.
Alright, yeah, they will basically just have a pile of scrap metal that they'll accept any donations. Give me some strength checks with your smith's tools.
Oh, Lord.
I see how good you do at work.
Oh.
A little bit.
Oh, you're
Not too bad.
still tired from last night, I see.
Well, we slept on a creaky wooden floor. Wasn't the greatest.
How is that any different from your shack?
My shack is comfy.
Alright, hit me with this next check.
Oh, yeah. Really getting in the groove now.
Someone get this man some coffee.
This is what we get for giving you the day off yesterday. Alright, give me one more. Gotta do the redemption.
Yeah.
Alright. You kind of were crafting a fish hook, and the first 2 hits kind of bent it not nearly the way it should go. It was kind of a big bend in it so it wouldn't sit even on the line, and then with the 3rd one you kind of just perfectly fix the kinks in the fish hook.
Just an old dwarven trick you wouldn't understand. And I'll try to give my negative deception to
He just shakes his head. Oh, you're always a joker, Gringus. As he's sitting there, working away.
Well, that's
Alright.
about it.
Yeah, that's the blacksmith.
And if I had, are we doing like 2 days of spare time or what? Or it's just right now?
We'll just do the first day for now.
Okay.
We can do both days in a row too, I guess, but we'll do it day by day. Alright, so now it's the two fishermen. And Logan, but he's not here, so...
Before we get to the actual fishing, Gore would have jumped in the water and went for a swim.
Alright, just like around the dock.
Yep, to get a good workout in for the morning.
Alright, yeah, you can, take off your armor or whatever and do that without any problem.
Thank God, I don't have to roll for that, because if I could fail and drown, that would,
Just a
I'm not gonna make you roll to swim with no armor on. Alright, so you go for your little swim. You do have your own boat that would just be docked here as well.
Alright.
What's its name?
He did give me a name, actually.
I don't think I did.
You did. I asked you guys one day when you were playing a different game. You named yours the Salt Cutter. Alright, so you head out on your boat.
Yup. Time to go fishing.
Alright, how deep are you going into the ocean? Or where are you going? Like along the coast? Your boat's basically like a rowboat that can hold a bit more weight than two people, but can't fit more than two people.
I would like to go somewhere peaceful, so preferably away from others.
Yeah, you guys are right on an ocean coast, so it's not hard to find a peaceful place away from others.
I don't need to go out too deep, just in case. But
Yeah, most of the bigger, commercial fishing ships are like larger, almost frigates that don't even park on the docks. They kind of they park, a bit out in the ocean and then ferry it in with smaller boats. So, yeah, they'd be going a bit deeper and, they'd be fishing for fish with hooks that take a blacksmith to actually make. They're not tiny little hooks. They're pretty sizable.
And I don't know, I guess it's my job, so I'll probably just fish most of the morning into the afternoon, or until we're doing something.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, you just kind of find a nice spot and fish a bit. Give me a few. What kind of check does Franklin do?
Survival.
Survival.
Yeah. Give me a survival check to kind of find, the good fishing area.
Yep.
All right. You find a fishing area. All right. So you kind of find a secluded area kind of near the shore. There doesn't seem to be anybody nearby. All right. Give me a I guess first I guess you don't have fishing tools, which I think are actually like a proficiency, maybe. One sec.
Fishing tackle.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think
that is
there's
just an item.
a tool you can use. I think it's just an item.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's
give
what it
me
is?
a dex check with your proficiency added. Because
Okay.
you're a fisher.
+2.
All right. So you cast out your line. It's a pretty decent cast. And you sit there for a moment and you're kind of, I don't know, bobbing your hook or doing some jigging. And you feel a bite. So give me a strength check with your proficiency.
18.
All right. So you reef on the rod and start reeling. And yeah, after that kind of a few minutes, you pull up a fish.
Oh, today's gonna be a good day.
Well, you pulled up a fish, but it's not that big of a fish. You figure that, with some cleaning and some working, you could probably feed yourself for the day pretty comfortably, but that's about it.
Even the small ones need to be eaten.
All right. And yeah, you kind of repeat that for the rest of the day. You basically fish throughout the day, and you catch enough fish that you could sell them to pretty much sustain your kind of modest lifestyle. So you could sell them for only about a gold and a few silver by the end of it with a bit of haggling.
All right. With my massive frame, I might do some intimidating too. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Make him roll it.
Yeah, I guess if you're trying to sell them to somebody and actually trying to intimidate them, so the way you would probably have to sell them is by setting up like either setting up a stall to sell them yourself, or just kind of selling them to Ida, like as part of her kind of catch, and then she would just handle selling them for you. So she would just be giving you the flat rate of a gold and wouldn't really haggle.
I wouldn't mind going and persuading Ida a little bit.
Ida wouldn't really be directly buying them from you. She would just have her kind of one of her employees that is responsible for giving gold to her employed fishermen.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so with the day of fishing,
Craig's fishing too.
Yeah, now we gotta do Craig's fishing. So yeah, Craig, how are you going about your fishing? You have your same style of boat, your rowboat that you've named the Lucky Man's Fish.
Yep. I'm going to look up at the sky, see if I see any stars, and I'm just going to go off in that direction.
All right, so you don't quite see any stars yet because it's still pretty early in the day. You're kind of just heading out, so it's about noon right now.
You can just see the sun, you fucking idiot. No,
Oh,
kidding.
Sun's a star, asshole.
Yeah, I know, you
Oh,
idiot. That's
no.
why I said you could just see the sun.
but yeah, give me the same set of checks that I got Gore to give, Craig. So a survival.
Survival, dex.
Right. Yep. You find another fishing spot separate from Gore. You kind of went north and he went south, or I guess east and west, based on how this map's actually aligned.
Sails right in the
Can I roll with my fishing tackle instead of just straight decks?
If you have, well, let me see.
I am proficient with it.
Yeah. So like, yeah. If you did your fishing tackle but selected decks, that would be the same thing as what I got Mitch to do.
Oh, okay. Not good.
All right. So you kind of are fishing for a bit, and you go to cast, and one of the times when you cast, you kind of not seem to have much luck with your casts. The first one kind of like hooks the side of your boat as you go to cast and just doesn't cast. And the second one, you like don't release the latch too much on the rod, and it kind of just splashes down in the water right in front of you.
Every time I do it, I'm going to look around and make sure no one sees.
Yeah, there's nobody nearby. But yeah, you cast a few times. You have a few kind of mishaps like that. A few times when you feel something nibble, but you don't quite set the line enough. But yeah, that pretty much goes on for the majority of the day. You don't really catch too much. But you have a much more interesting way back than Mitch does. So I guess Gore, on the way back, he is just able to, he just comes back as you normally would, and he docks his boat and deals with the fisher. What's his name? I don't even know what that job would be called, but the person who's buying the fish.
Fishmonger.
There's a word. Yeah, you deal with the kind of the fishmonger at the dock, and I don't know if fishmonger is the right word, but it seems good enough.
Sells raw fish.
All right. So yeah, you kind of get end up getting 2 gold for your catch, because you see you got enough to sustain your life for the day, but also made a bit of money. And yeah, you kind of have no troubles doing that. Craig, on the other hand, he has a much more interesting night. So on your way back, it's kind of, later in the afternoon. It's sun's starting to set. Starting to see some stars up in the sky. And scuffed. And as you're coming back, you notice a opening in the cliffside. You're kind of following along the cliff, coming home along the shore. And you notice an opening in the cliffside that you've never really seen before. You've fished here for a multitude of years now, your whole life, and you've definitely fished in this area before, but you've never seen that opening. Do you head inside, or do you ignore it?
Well, it was a bad day fishing. Maybe I'll go check out this cave where there's some bigger fish in there I've never seen before.
All right. So you venture in the rowboat, and as you enter the cave, or the opening, you're kind of taken aback at how beautiful it is. The moonlight's kind of starting to glisten off the water and kind of fluttering up into the cave, and the whole cave's kind of lit in a bluish light that would kind of happen if you reflected light off of water and onto a surface. You kind of get into the center of this cave, and you notice there's a hole that goes kind of straight up into the sea, or there's a hole that you can look up and see the black night sky above you. It's suddenly way later than when you entered. And you've been a fisherman your entire night, and you've never seen the sky call to you like it seems to be now. So yeah, you are kind of staring up at the sky a little bit here, and you kind of nod off. You've just felt compelled to kind of lay down and just stare up at the sky and appreciate it. And you feel your eyes start to close and get heavy, and you fight it a little bit, but you end up falling asleep. But as soon as you feel your eyes kind of close, you pop them open, and you're sitting on a boat in the middle of what looks like a giant astral sea. It's a huge kind of endless dark ocean that goes off forever. It kind of comes one with the night sky. There's no land in any direction. Looking around, you can see kind of a bunch of different fish jumping up and splashing back down into this water. What? Oh. Some of these fish are, the biggest fish that you've ever seen jumping up, some of them the most exotic. But as you kind of look closely at these fish, you notice that they all appear a bit odd. The fish are a bit more ethereal than you've expected. They're almost astral in appearance. You kind of watch them a bit more, jumping up and down and splashing, and they almost look like constellations that are swimming about. You kind of sit back and admire the beauty for a moment, and you feel a very powerful presence kind of surrounding you, but you're not really sure what it is. A few moments later, you hear a booming, echoey voice in your head, and it says, Today was close, but I have plans for you. I've bestowed upon you some power. Learn how to use it, and more will come." And the power kind of just vanishes. There's a kind of a loud snap as you awaken, kind of floating in the ocean again, not in this cave. You peer around and you're no longer in the grotto. But as you look around, the stars seem to shine brighter than you've ever seen. The water clearer than you've ever seen. You're not really sure what happened. But as you think about it for a moment, you kind of recall some legends being told within Saltmarsh about this sort of thing happening to heroes in the past, but you kind of always just assumed it was a story told to get the children fishing, and you never really made anything of it.
As I'm rowing back, I'm going to think about this and feel very proud, but also just assume I had too much of Herman's special juice.
Yeah, so you kind of row back to the shore, and you get back just fine. It's definitely late. Like, you went into that grotto, and it's like hours later that you've left.
Okay, so I would go home to bed, I would assume.
Either home to bed, or I mean, you could go to the tavern. It's not like 2 a.m. It's like, you were coming back at 6 and it's now 9 or 10.
Yeah, I'm going to go home and I'm going to go to bed. But before I go to bed, I'm going to pull out a notebook, like a blank notebook that I might have had at the house. And I'm just going to start drawing lines all over it with like dots in them.
Oh, like constellations?
Yeah, similar to what the sky might look like. Constellation.
He's playing connected dots.
All right.
Creating my own and then finishing them.
So yeah, that's the first day. I guess the market people only had like 20 minutes. So what would you guys have done with the rest of the day? Your market journey kind of would have took you probably about an hour to find the right stall and count out 100 gold.
You underestimate how slow I count.
Took him all day.
I hope this didn't take more than an hour.
I'm just
Gosh.
kidding. I don't know what else I would have done with the day. Probably go to find an inn, because that's a lot of walking for Bobson. He's pretty tuckered out.
Yeah, you could have just headed back to the Wicker Goat that you started this journey at. You would still have had your room there.
All right. Well, on the way there, I would say,
Kendall, I hate to trouble you some more, but I only asked for the gold I needed for exactly a 100 gold piece pearl. I have no money left to rent a room. Would you be so kind as to lend me another 2 gold pieces?
You only need 1 for the room and food.
Oh, I see this is a very poor inn. Just the 1 gold piece then.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, you are
Look,
so
look. Are
kind
we
there,
all
Mr.
together? Sorry.
Moscott.
Brett, I'm assuming you would have just like went to the inn to start
I
doing your
probably would
work,
have
right?
been there. I assume I'd be sitting at a near by table, writing stuff down. Look, I can room here, boss, and you've been quite helpful, and it's
The least that I could do. And I flick three. I toss palm 3 coins to Bobson.
Yeah, if you flick or toss them, I definitely do not catch them.
Yeah, no, I started to, and then I think better of it, and then I just pat them.
Oh, thank you, Camisole. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Oh, well, one of those things is true. Ha ha!
Which one?
That his name's Camisole.
Yeah, there is a lot of people still here. This group's not here. Don't worry about them. They're chilling.
They're just outside now.
And these are not all bandits, even though you just fought a bunch of these.
Oh shit, there's more of them!
Yeah, I probably would have just gone back to the inn and had a couple drinks and just chatted up anyone who was there, told a bit of the story, or as much as Wendell remembers, which probably isn't that much. But I'll look in my coin purse, be like, oh man, I'm starting to run low. And I'll walk over to the bar, be like, hey, do you guys need some help in the kitchen? I used to help my mom a lot. I'm pretty good.
There's kind of a just like real life, Pog. So yeah, you kind of walk up to this the bartender here, and he's a pretty gruff looking dude. He thinks about it for a moment, and he's like, didn't you guys run out on a tab?
Did we?
Oh, that might have just been Herman. He always does that. Yeah, I could use a bit of extra help for at least the rest of Rich Fest here.
Sounds good to me.
I'll like pull out my cook's utensils and start like helping out wherever they instruct me to.
Yeah, you're the salad chef.
God damn it.
Wendell toss salad.
I'll let you work back there for. Wait, what? You're staying at this inn, right?
Yeah.
If you help me during the busier times of the day here, I can let you stay and eat for free.
That sounds great. You're just like home.
All right. Basically it.
All right, yeah, he lets you work at the back with his 2 other staff. I deleted all the dynamic lighting because fuck it. But yeah, so the rest of you guys kind of make it here. You find Sigvald chilling at a table. I guess Gringus and Gore, would you 2 have came here after, or would you 2 have went home?
I probably would have came for a drink.
Genghis would probably go to a shack.
All right. I guess this isn't technically the tavern that the fishermen would normally be at, but fuck it, we're here. All right, so you guys, are all kind of chilling wherever at which table. Craig didn't make it. You make it. Gore shows up. I don't know.
Is this the first day or the second day?
This would just still be the end of the first day.
Okay.
But yeah, so you guys, I guess, chat a bit, chat up the bar. Herman does show up and buy you guys a round of drinks he promised.
I come here to drink my sorrows away.
Yeah, the town for the most part, or the bar for the most part, is filled with kind of most of the same crowd it was last night.
Minus Gringus.
Yeah, minus Gringus and minus the dwarfs that are sitting at their corner table. They're not actually outside. Just don't worry about them. Yeah, and I guess that's the end of the first day. So does anybody, I guess now with Bobson's new ability to identify, would you have tried to get those magic items to identify?
Yeah, if anybody brings them by and is interested, I will ritually cast Identify on them.
Bobson, will you identify this pipe that I have? And I hand him my smoke pipe.
Oh, it will take a while. As I start to slowly perform the ritual. The entire time I'm like telling long rambling stories that go nowhere. And yeah, once the ritual is up, I know that the pipe is ...
It is a pipe of remembrance. So, yeah, as you're looking at this pipe a bit more closely, you notice that it's pretty immaculate looking. Like it's a pretty fancy looking pipe. So when the pipe is lit, any smoke that's exhaled from it does not dissipate, and it instead lingers in the air. After 10 minutes of it being lit, the smoke forms moving shapes that reenact the bear's most impressive and heroic achievements for 5 minutes. And then the smoke dissipates, and it cannot be used like that again until the next day.
So I explain all that, and it reminds me of one time where I took in a lecture given by Mordenkainen at the Greyhawk, and he did some illusionary magic with smokes. It was quite impressive. And it just keeps rambling like that, and I forget to hand the pipe back.
Well, thank you for identifying my pipe for me as I reach out to take it back from you. Can I offer you a drink for that?
Yes, certainly. I'll take a prune juice.
And I walk up to the bar and be like, do you guys have prune juice here?
Only ale.
Eh, fuck it, that'll do.
All right, that'll be 1 sec as I look at the player's handbook. 4 copper pieces, please.
All right. Make that 2, and I slap down 8.
All right. Short one, bring me 2 mugs of ale.
Okay. Walk out with 2 mugs. Go, oh,
What are you doing back there?
working. I'm starting to run low on money, so I figured I should get a job.
Ah, yes, that's very fair. How was your first day?
It's going pretty good. It's pretty busy, but nothing I can't handle.
Well, excellent. I'm gonna go drink.
All right, have fun.
Will do. I walk back to the table. I put the cup down right in front of Bob's and be like, "Well, he said this is the closest thing they had to prune juice."
All right, if they say so. And I just start drinking the ale.
Oh, where was I? Yes, Morton Kanan, giving a talk, using the illusionary magic, made figures dance in the smoke, and it was quite intriguing. He was talking about the metaphysics of the astral sea, you see, and
Just trail off.
All right.
Fascinating.
So yeah, and I guess if there's nothing else you guys want to get up to in the tavern, that's the end of the first day. Like, you guys even have nice rooms. There's a whole second floor.
I would have eventually stumbled back to my own place.
Sorry, which day are you on? What time are you at? I'm-
It's like end of day. You know, everybody's starting to wind down for the day.
End of day 1.
Yep, yep.
Okay, I will just be finishing up my little project then, I think, for the next day.
All right. What kind of check would be? And yeah, I guess Blake, for your kind of day of work, give me, you have cook's utensils, right?
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah, I guess give me a 3 checks with them. Give me a Constitution based one and 2 Dex based ones.
24 for the con, and here's where it all goes wrong.
Just like real life.
Hey.
Oh, just kidding.
Oh, there you go.
Christmas.
Oh, wait, hang on. I keep forgetting to use this. So I'm going to re-roll that second one.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Dang.
So
You
yeah,
got it right on the first day.
you kind of started off with this guy just needing somebody to help him do some dishes and, you know, serve some ale. And you kind of end the day being like the main, well, out of the 2 people, kind of the main chef. You spend quite a bit of time. Don't be that impressed. There's the dishwasher and like one other person.
Fair point.
So yeah, you work primarily with seafood, and you work your day just fine, and you even earn yourself a few extra silver. So you kind of make 5 silver in tips and can get your kind of 1 gold of living expense dealt with for the day.
Okay.
And then yeah, I guess Catelyn, same with you. You, with your rolls, just got your living expenses covered. But you already kind of own your own house, so you don't have to pay the inn part, so you get 5 extra silver as well.
So is it just 1 gold per night to
Yeah,
stay?
so at this inn, the food, it is a modest inn. All the inns in Saltmarsh are modest, so yeah, it's 5 silver for the bed for the night, and then kind of 3 silver for the food, and another 2 silver for just kind of like maintaining your existence for, you know, ale and whatever else. Yeah, so that is one thing what we're gonna do with Saltmarsh is whenever we are staying in the town, we will try to deal with the living expenses as easily as we can. But I have a feeling with how low the living expenses are, it'll be irrelevant after like 1 mission. Unless you start buying a bunch of fancy stuff. But anyways. Alright, so yeah, that's the first night. So the second day, be much of the same. I'm imagining. Yeah. So what would you guys be doing for like the second day? You know, up until you had to go to the council.
Assuming
Um,
I'd just be working.
I would be a combination of selling what I had grabbed and trying to identify what it is.
All right. Yeah. So I guess we'll just start with that. So what did you pick up to sell?
Wrapped plate mail, longsword, a shield, explorer's pack.
All right.
And then I have an unknown pouch with alchemist powder that I would probably get identified and probably sell.
All right. So you know just from your time living at Saltmarsh that taking the adventuring gear and plate mail and that kind of stuff, the blacksmith would be your best bet.
All right, let's go see Gringus.
All right. You head to the good old dwarven anvil, which even exists. Find Gringus.
Long time no see, short man. And I'm going to drop the wrapped plate mail, longsword, shield, and explorer's pack down on the ground. And tell him I want to sell it.
Would this not be more of an front office thing?
Yep.
Richard, you'll have to go talk to Mafera in the front. Just through there.
No backdoor deals here, I see.
I don't know you that well.
And I guess I'll carry it all up to the front.
All right. So yeah, in the front you find. Did I make a token for her? I might have. Oh, on the wrong fucking screen because I'm scuffed. NPCs. I don't know what this is gonna do. It might work. It's not a token, but you get a little icon. And this bitch.
Hesker.
Okay, well the tokens look scuffed because they're not real tokens, but yeah, I guess you would have seen another guy working with Catelyn who kind of would have ignored you because he's just busy working. But in the front office, you see a girl named Mafera who you would have recognized from around town before.
Well, hello, dearie. I got some stuff for sale.
Yeah, she looks like that.
Yeah, she's still dearie.
Yep, that's fine. Yeah, we'll buy some metal stuff. What do you got? We could always use more scrap for turning it into useful things.
Well, I got this scrap plate mail, I got a longsword and a shield, and maybe an explorer's pack if you can find some use for it.
Well, unfortunately, the explorer's pack we don't have much of a use for. You could try selling that at the weekly market. Somebody there would have more use for it than I would. But
Sounds good.
as for the longsword and the shield, I can give you the shield I can give you about 5 gold for. And the longsword I can give you less gold if I can find the fucking entry. Longsword I can give you about 7 gold for. That plate mail I could definitely buy, but it's... You sure you don't want to get that repaired and maybe use it?
Well, What's it worth?
Well, I'll give you about 200 gold for it. I'm sure our blacksmiths could repair it, and I could sell it for a pretty penny.
How much does it cost for you guys to repair it for me?
Well, I'd charge you guys about 100 gold. It would take for material-wise for us to repair it.
We'll tell you what. I'll drop it off. I'll come up with the money, and I'll come back with 100 gold. How's that sound?
Honey, I don't know who you are.
Go talk to Gringus. He knows me.
Hey, Gringus.
Yes, ma'am.
This guy claims to know you. Do you know who he is?
That's Richard. I've been around him for a day.
Honey, he's only known you for a day. I'll tell you what. I'll give you 12 gold for the shield and the longsword, and come back when you got the money to repair the plate, or I'll buy the plate off you.
How about I leave 50 gold here, and I come back with 50 more gold, and you just get to work on it.
That we can do.
Sounds good. And I'll slip the 50 gold and the rec plate mail over.
All right. Come back. We'll put about 50 gold worth of work into it, and when you bring us the other half, we'll get it finished.
Perfect. And I'll walk out the door. See you later, Gringos.
Richard. I'll just keep working away.
All right. So yeah, I guess, Richard, give me your blacksmithing strength checks again. Gringus. Gotta see how good you do for the day. All right. All in all, better. Yeah. So throughout your work for the day, you could earn yourself, your daily upkeep and an extra half gold.
I'm rich.
All right. So Gringus is heading to the market, or Richard's heading to the market, try to sell his explorer's pack and find someone for a weird powder.
That would be the direction I'm going.
All right. So I guess before we do that, Gore, what would you be up to today until your council meeting tonight?
Probably the same thing as yesterday.
All right.
To take over the world.
Yeah, give me the same 3 checks as yesterday. So your survival, dex plus proficiency, and strength plus proficiency.
Fuck.
All right. So you again find another pretty secluded place. Cast out your line. You're casting fine, and wait until you feel your rod nibble, and you set the hook. And definitely takes a bit longer for you to reel it in than normal, but you end up fishing quite fine for the day, and also earn yourself about a gold and a half.
Excellent. And then seeing as I forgot to do it, because my day started late, when I get back to shore, I will go for a swim.
All right.
Gotta keep these muscles somehow.
So Wendell, you would have to kind of help him a bit in the morning as people come for their breakfast before fishing, and then a bit in the afternoon. But he kind of wouldn't really need the full-time help throughout the most of the day.
When are we meeting up with the Council
Tonight.
again?
Yeah, tonight. So at about 6 p.m. All right. So yeah, Blake, give me your same 3 checks.
Okay. Oof. Dex and Dex. Cool.
All right.
Getting up this early in the morning.
Yeah, you do okay, but only managed to earn your kind of stay and no extra. You don't get any tips. You weren't that good of a chef today.
Sadness.
You didn't learn how to cook breakfast yet.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah.
yesterday was the first time he would have ever worked with fish, so I mean that's pretty spectacular.
Probably left a few bones in today.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Brett, what would you have been doing throughout the day?
I would have been boarding around town and trying to get to know any noticeable or prominent figures in town, main shopkeepers and stuff like that, and write down their names and what their kind of profession was. Kind of almost doing like a census disguised as me, basically going around and trying to be friendly, just talking to people,
Mhm.
and kind of just like taking down like a little census of the prominent people in town, and going around the marketplace and getting to know the shopkeepers a little bit, and just basically kind of taking notes at this point in Saltmarsh's history.
All right. So yeah, you kind of go around to. Let's go to the map again. I don't remember exactly which places you have visible at this point in time, but I imagine you kind of just would have went to like all the stores of the place that were kind of pointed out to you yesterday. All right. I guess that'll take some time. So, I mean, you'd be able to do that just fine without any checks or without any incident. So what we'll do is kind of after this session, I'll just give you a bunch of the NPCs descriptions and stuff.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All right. And then I guess Colton, what would Bobson would have been doing today?
Bobson would want to get a kind of layout of the political climate in town. So you would be going to like the I guess where the seat of government here, wherever that is, and seeing if they have public voting records of the um, members of parliament or heads of whatever here.
Let's go team audit.
Yeah, and he's just gonna read through the most dry, boring, like how they voted on day-to-day issues as far back as he can in a day.
All right. So yeah, you would find yourself again at the town or the community hall that you guys were at last night. Just knowing that that's kind of the community building, like that's where the records would be. And yeah, you ask around and ask if you can see the records and how, I guess first how they run this place. That means I gotta learn. I don't remember if the council is appointed or elected. But I guess at the very least what you would have learned is that there is a town council, which I think you guys have access to, but maybe not. Sorry, I got a lot of handouts. Yeah, so I do have this sheet for you. So you would at the very least learn that. You would learn that, these 5 people are kind of the head of the town council.
Okay.
And you would have learned that so Ida is the most senior member of the council, and she's who you guys would have talked to last night.
Mhm.
Manistred Copperlocks, you would recognize as a name that Ida mentioned, but she's somebody you would be more familiar with because of the Dwarven Mine. And I think you should probably have her information already, but maybe not.
Would it be in factions?
No, it would be characters, NPC, Saltmarsh. Did it pop up for you?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so you should already know her, because she is the leader of the mining operation in Saltmarsh, which you kind of helped the initial setup of.
Hmm.
I guess. Um,
So I guess my main goal in going through this would be to try and find out who is like amenable to the dwarves being in town and who is opposed, and trying to see if there's any um, like business interests or any kind of leverage I could find through their voting record of the people that are opposed to the dwarves being in town, to see if I can kind of pull those strings to see if I don't know, gain an advantage.
ah. Yeah, one sec. So, I guess with that kind of base information, so yeah, the council is appointed by members. Shit. Okay, I'll figure out how the council's actually built because I don't know, and having it appointed by members doesn't make sense. But yeah, give me an investigation check to see what you can kind of dig up.
Okay, 1 second.
All right. So yeah, with a 16, you would know that Ida, or that the town's kind of split largely into 2 factions. So there's the traditionalists and the loyalists. The traditionalists want, I guess what you gather is the traditionalists want Saltmarsh to maintain, kind of status quo. People are very often, when talking about this sort of thing, they reference a town to the east named Steeton that kind of had a similar fate where the crown showed up to do something and it ended up turning it into just some industrialist giant naval dock that doesn't really have an identity anymore. And they don't want Saltmarsh to have the same fate. From doing your investigation through the council, you kind of get the feel that Ida, who you would have talked to, and Gellin Primewater, you've seen him kind of yelling out of his balcony the other day when you guys were going through the town tour. You feel that those two ended up being traditionalists, and through some of the voting records you did find, they seem to pretty consistently vote on different things together. And then Manistred, to be a loyalist, so the loyalists is the second faction, and they're, from what you gather or know, very loyal to the king. So they just are trying to make Saltmarsh into the mining town, so they vote that way. And pouring through public records, you find that Aleander typically votes with Manistred. But there is the fifth council member named Anders, and he kind of seems to be a wild card, and you can't quite pin down where he lies. Half the voting records that you could find have him voting one way, and half the voting records that you could find have him voting the other.
Okay.
But that was a lot of stuff, so I can send you a bit more after session.
Please do.
All right, so Colton kind of spends the majority of his day doing that, digging through a bunch of kind of musty old documents. Gore was fishing. Gringus's work. Okay. So now we get to circle back to Richard, who's trying to sell his Explorer's Pack. That's kind of not a full Explorer's Pack. And B, sell his, or figure out what that powder is, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So, being from Saltmarsh, you actually would know that you could walk over to, this store up here if you wanted to pretty easily sell that Explorer's Pack. So that's a Winston's store.
Oh yeah, I'll just walk up there, quickly sell it, and then worry about the alchemist powder.
All right, so yeah, I guess walking into that store, you meet a very a dapper looking gentleman. You see this guy.
Looks awfully familiar.
Original content, do not steal.
Jarl Axel.
That's what I'm thinking.
But no, you see, you walk in and he says, welcome to Winston's. What can I do for you?
Well, hello, Winston. I got this partial Explorer's Pack. I just need to get off my hands.
Oh, well, what's missing from it? I'll take a just hand it over here. I'll take a look.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure what's missing.
I think just the food and water was missing.
So back, bedroll, mess kit, tinderbox, 10 torches, and 50 feet of hempen rope.
Yeah, I suppose I can buy this. I think it might come in use to a sailor for their next adventure. I can give you 3 gold with that missing stuff.
Sure. I'll take my 3 gold.
All right.
Well, we'll see you later, Winston.
Yeah. And as always, if you ever need to get rid of anything, let me know. And he gives you a wink as you leave.
I'll be back later to shop around. Don't got much to spend at the moment.
I'll be here. All right. And then you head back to the market. Give me a perception check.
Perception.
All right. You kind of show up and you walk around the market and you're kind of looking for somebody that has similar items to, that has displayed of pouches and powders, and you find one store that has a bunch of other kind of magical looking items, or not items, powders. A bunch of stuff that you would use to cast spells. Material components, there's the word. What can I do for you?
Well, I got a couple bags of this stuff that I came across. I'm not really too sure what it is, but I'm thinking I want to sell it.
I could take a look. And the person kind of holds out their hand.
I'll hand over a bag.
All right, let me go to find out what it actually is because I don't remember. Okay. She kind of looks at him and is like, I recognize this stuff. It's some powder used for when alchemists are distilling stuff. They use this powder as kind of a filter. It's quite valuable to the right person. I can give you 5 gold for the bag.
How about 10 gold for 2 bags?
Yeah, 10 gold for 2 bags works for me.
Yeah, I'll hand over 2 bags.
All right, yeah, she will hand over the 10 gold. All right. And I think that wraps up shopping episode.
Oh.
Unless there's anybody else that would want to do some shopping. Or selling. I guess anti-shopping. All right. So you guys, have your days of doing your jobs or getting rid of various equipments. And you meet at the town council hall at, the right time. So you kind of walk into the more meeting room area of the council hall. Or I guess you walk in and eat hello, dearies. Come with me. I'm still trying to figure out how to do my voice.
Whoa, you've been injecting some testosterone there, I see.
Voices are hard.
True.
Come with me. And she kind of leads you over to the meeting room. And as you walk in, there is a bunch of people, so give me...
Oh, God.
I'm not doing voices for all of them.
Sad face.
Alright, so you see that guy sitting. You see that guy sitting there. And you see a few familiar faces. So you see Gellin sitting there, which is this guy. And, of course, you have Ida. And then finally, you see a familiar-looking face of Miss Manistred Copperlocks, who was sitting at the bar for your guys' first night.
Gallon was on the... Okay, right? Just to remind myself.
Yeah, Gellin was the guy that was sitting kind of on his balcony talking to the sailor about the rot grubs.
Gotcha.
Anders, I believe this is the first time you've encountered him, although I think you guys would recognize the name. Yeah, you guys would recognize his name from when we walked past this house here, this really fancy looking house. Aleander, a few of you guys would know just from being in Saltmarsh, but for the most part, he would be a new face. So Aleander's a kind of a gruff looking guy. He's very battle worn. believe he has a peg leg. Yeah, he has a peg leg that you can kind of see as he's sitting in his little chair. Yeah, Gellin, he is there, and then yeah, Manistred as well. She is kind of dressed in a more fancy attire, but it's fancy but dirty, if that makes sense. It's like you can kind of get the feeling that she, isn't afraid to get her hands dirty and help.
And she's got a nice beard.
True.
Oh.
Has the chops. It definitely does look like she has a beard in that photo.
She probably does. She's a dwarf.
Do female dwarfs have beards?
They can.
Occasionally.
All right. But yeah, so you guys walk into the council hall and greeted with a group of people. And as soon as you guys enter, Ida kind of pipes up and says, all right. These adventurers here are... All right, I give up. These adventurers here are the the people I was just telling you guys about that dealt with the smugglers on in the haunted mansion. That turns out it wasn't haunted after all.
Oh, it was haunted, all right.
Yeah, there was this weird skeleton guy with like a beard that wasn't really there. And, I don't know, it was really weird.
Wait,
More like infested undead creatures rather than haunted by, say, a ghost, if you know what I mean.
wait, the skeleton that you guys told me about was real?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh,
all right.
of course,
well,
yes.
it was a little haunted. The guards did return today and confirmed their stories. They, found a rather morbid scene with a bunch of, dead people.
Rather unfortunate, but they decide to put up fisticuffs to us with during our investigation.
The one thing that the guards did mention is that few of them recognized one of the bodies there, and he used to be from Saltmarsh. But
Used to be.
yeah, we haven't seen him for quite some time. He got involved with some tricky characters.
Huh.
Well, you'll continue not to be seeing him.
Yeah, I sure hope so. But anyways, we're here to talk about dealing with the other half of that operation. So, we've been talking, and we do think that, there has to be another ship bringing them the goods. But we don't know when we don't know the timeline on when it comes.
We were unable to find that out as well.
That being said, I believe Sigvald had looted some journals. I can't remember, since I did not take a look myself, if they contained any information on what we were looking for. One contained tides, correct? I kind of look over at Richard, because I know Richard touched it at some point.
I have a logbook about tides, but nothing about about ships coming in. I guess
Sigvald have had anything like that?
I
I know he's not here right now, but
guess I can flip through this book.
let me check Sigvald's inventory. I believe Richard has the Tide book. I don't remember what the other books Richard found were called, and my Roll20 is not loading.
okay.
That's the only book that I have.
Wasn't one like the
The
code book?
treatise on Ayus and the exotic
yeah.
poetry.
Oh no, I was thinking of a different one then.
Wait, that was one with exotic poetry. Could
Sorry,
possibly?
erotic poetry.
I just had an idea. Could it be possible that the one that is poetry, sexy, ho 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 kind of type poetry, is there any chance that it might be a code of some sort?
I'm not sure, but good luck getting that book away from Sigvald.
Yeah, I don't know where Sigvald is.
Well, I'll go look for him later. Maybe we'll take a look afterwards.
You guys mentioned a logbook about tides, right?
Yep. I have one here as I'm looking through it, flipping through it.
So we have a theory that the ship simply comes in on high tide. Because our guards inspected that cave and found a pretty well, and I guess based on what you guys told us, we do think that the ship comes in on high tides.
Has there been a high tide between now and between when we raided the place?
About 2 weeks ago, there would have been a high tide, and there'd be another one in about 2 more weeks.
Good thing we didn't spend more nights in the house waiting.
Yeah, that would have been really boring. Unless Herman showed up again. Then it would have probably been fun.
Well, the question is do you have some use for our handiwork that we could perform?
Yes, in fact, we do. So I think we can go with this plan. And now that you guys have kind of brought a bit more evidence that confirms or that alludes to our tide theory, so we will get some members of a guard to patrol the coastline and kind of walk back and forth between the house from between now and the next 2 weeks when we expect the tide to be high again. And we'll get them to signal us when they see something. We don't have enough guards to risk the guards going out onto the ship. And, most of our guards are retired old fishermen like Aleander here. And then he kind of just doesn't react to that statement, but is kind of offended. And that's where you guys come in. Once the guards tell us about the ship, you guys could go out there by boat and confront these smugglers for us.
Yeah, we can go out there and tell them to go away.
Confronting. Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, as the little one put it on the dock earlier, they could take a nap.
Ah, yes.
If you want to bring any of them back, well, we won't stop you, but there's so much smuggling going around along here that we'll take any small victory.
And what is the going rate for such work?
We can offer you 450 gold for completion. And between now and the next 2 weeks, we will put up for any room and board, as well as kind of get any basic equipment that you guys would need that you don't already have.
I guess again holds in his excitement.
Oh wow, that sounds great.
Well, that's quite quite a large amount of money for a fisherman such as myself. It's quite hard to turn something like this down.
Hmm. I mean, if the amount of smugglers in that cave were any sort of indication of what's on that boat, it's going to be very dangerous.
But if you all think about it, you'll be the heroes of Saltmarsh. It'll be people sing praise of names. Our names.
I could care less about fame. I just need the coin.
And the snow starts with many heroic deeds in many stories.
I don't think I've read any of those.
Oh, that happens much more often than you think, my friend.
Oh, I mean, I haven't read a lot of books, so you're probably right.
Could I ask for your names?
Wendell immediately just walks forward.
I'm Wendell Tosspot. Pleasure to meet you.
They kind of all reach out their hand one at a time to introduce themselves. Ida a bit more friendly than the rest, since you guys have met Ida before, and a few of you are more familiar with Ida.
Aleander Serendier of Greyhawk College.
Oh, all the way from Greyhawk.
Oh, well, I'm actually from here originally, but I studied abroad.
Which one?
Oh, so many. So many.
But Tish.
Name's Gringus. I work at the Anvil.
Ah, yes, I've seen you before.
I just nod at him.
My name is Gore. I'm just a retired fisherman.
That sounded suspicious.
And what about you? And Ida kind of gestures in the direction of the ancient dwarf.
Give him a nudge.
Sorry, I appear to have nodded off.
Could
Yeah,
you?
Bobson. He's old.
Bobson.
Oh.
Manistred pipes up and
Looking
says,
at me for.
That's Bobson. He's the one who found the silver up in the hills. He worked for the mine in his time.
I see my reputation precedes me.
Sorry, one sec. Oh my god, Google Docs, why?
Bobson is without a doubt the wisest man I have ever met in my entire life. As I try and play him up in front of Ida.
Yeah, he uses a lot of words that I've never heard before.
He did mention earlier that he orchestrated the whole thing.
I didn't know he could play instruments too.
Someone's had too much coffee this morning.
You should see him cast a firebolt. He's really good with his fingers.
I second that notion.
Yeah. Ida kind of quickly tries to change the conversation. So, yeah, we'll provide you guys with one of my fishing boats. It's big enough to hold you all. and a few of our guards that'll come along with you to the boat.
Yeah, we
I
get
don't know
red
if-
shirts, guys.
Yay!
Herman's not a guard, is he?
No.
Okay.
He's
God.
too useless.
God damn it.
If Herman was one of our red shirts, I would die for that man.
So, you'll signal us when it's the time?
Yeah, we'll... The guards will
Sorry.
let us know when they see the ship. We assume that the ship will stay there for a bit as it waits for the signal back, but as soon as we see the ship, we'll have to act fast.
Well, in that case, I better find a place to store more gold. And he's gonna start walking out of the room.
Yeah, I better go talk to. I forget my boss's name now.
Are you on your way to quit already, Wendell?
Oh no. I mean, I can still make a little bit of money. I don't have to pay for room and board anymore. Well, actually, he was covering room and board. I need to go have a talk with him.
Start absentmindedly walking out of the room, just like
Oh,
pondering things.
before the two of you leave, I would like to send you an invitation. Tonight I'll be doing a performance I'd prefer if you were all there for.
Where is that? Because I might be working. I don't know
Oh,
yet.
back. Well, it'll be where you're working, back at the tavern where we were
Oh,
first
perfect.
met. Yes.
I'll be there in one way or another.
The council, what's his name? Gellin? I'll remember, yep. Gellin pipes up when you mention that you're doing a performance, and he says, well, why don't you come on down to the snapping line for the performance? We got a stage and everything.
I did not know about that. I have not been in the snapping line yet. Perhaps I could do so. I might have to do a double performance that night because I was hoping to do it in the location of the where the party had started. But that sounds highly appealing. I'll tell you. We'll start out in the goat, and then I'll make my way down there afterwards, and I'll re-perform there.
That sounds good. I'll look forward to hearing it.
Yes, I'm excited to show it off.
We could also convince the patrons of the goat to come down for the real thing. And only do one performance.
I mean, I'm fine with either. If there's no one to cook for, I could probably just take a break.
Exactly.
Whichever works. I'm not incredibly picky.
Well, I say we go try to convince everyone in the bar to follow us to the performance.
Oh, I say we wait till about 9 o'clock when everyone's right liquored. It's always the best time to show things off.
Well, I mean, that crowd at that bar is usually easily persuaded. We almost had them haunted house.
Yeah, that's the crowd that has walked to the haunted house once a week for like the last 10 years with Herman.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you
Well,
guys...
we can lure them over there, no problems.
Alright, so it takes... You kind of talk with the council a little bit. I guess, does anybody have anything else they'd like to ask the council before I segue us?
Nothing's standing out to me right now.
I got nothing.
Alright.
Nope.
So, you guys spent, I guess, hashing out the plans and kind of going over the evidence to verify some stuff and signing your names on a paper that says you'll do it and get paid this much. You know, the boring administrative stuff. Takes about an hour and a half.
Bobson probably perks right up, I would assume, for that kind of stuff.
And then you guys, head to your wicker goat.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I will go to the Wicker Goat, maybe just buy a couple drinks, and after maybe an hour or so of drinking there, kind of stand up and address the crowd. Good evening, everyone. Now, I have a bit of an announcement to make. In about half an hour, there will be a grand old performance based around, I guess I'll give you the name for it, called The Mystery of Brook Manor. And as we go through and tell you the harrowing story of our nights spent in the manor, we will be drinking and celebrating this group of fine adventurers who braved that many were unable to do. I assure you it's going to be one of the best shows you will see in the last year or so. Unfortunately, we will have to be doing it down to accommodate a larger crowd at the, and I kind of like lean over to Gringus. What's the place called again?
The Lion's Head or something.
The Snapping Lion. The Snapping Lion. There will be a stage, and there will be quite a performance.
Do you mean the snapping line?
Oh, the Snapping Line. I am new here, and I am trying to get to know things a lot better. I apologize.
I just shout from the back. Woo!
So
Yeah, and I'll announce when we're making our way over there. But until then, drink your asses off and tip your bartender well.
Lankus pipes up and he's, hey, are you trying to steal my business?
We're coming right back, my good sir.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have the
As
after
I
party
sit down,
here.
I kind of lean over. I don't know if we're actually coming back or not. I don't have a real concrete plan on this.
Herman is there listening to you tell the speech, or not tell the speech, talk about what the performance.
Sorry?
I said Herman's sitting at one of these tables drinking again, and he, as soon as you're kind of done giving your dialect, he says, a round of ale on the house. Or a round of ale for everybody on the house. Or a round of ale for everybody in the house on me. I promise these adventurers.
He's deep in the cups already.
Yeah, it took him a few tries.
Woo!
Hey Herman, I heard you walk out on your tab sometimes. Are you sure you can afford this?
Yes. Today was a good day fishing. It wasn't. But all right, so you guys drink a bit more, and then head over to the snapping line for the performance.
On the way there, can we be trying to collect more people that we see on the road? And like yelling at buildings and stuff?
Yeah, so you guys are walking from 3 to 13. So you can...
Where the fuck is 13?
There's 13.
Yeah.
I want a D10 for how drunk I am.
All right.
Leading the way there with my
Tad, a tad
playing
drunk
my
right
lute.
now.
trying to Pied Piper their way over.
All right. So if you're trying to draw a bigger crowd, Brett?
I'll use minor illusion to help him out as best I can with some dancing shapes and some lights and showers of sparks and things like that.
All right. Brett, give me a performance check with advantage.
Can I be helping as well, just to say that it's happening?
Yeah. If you're playing an instrument, you can use that if it's a higher roll too. Whatever was the higher of the two.
Oh.
Hey. All right. So as you guys kind of march through the street with your crowd behind you, it grows quite a bit. With all the people in this, the few houses that you walked by, the bit of stores that you walked by, a bit of the shopkeepers that were just kind of cleaning up after the long day. They kind of all join you in the snapping line.
Sorry, is the snapping line, that was the head of the guard told us to go there?
Yeah. Or no,
Okay.
sorry. Gellin did. He is
Gellin did.
the very well-dressed person.
Right.
This map might be really laggy with the lighting, so I'm just going to delete the dynamic lighting. But yeah, you guys walk up to the snapping line, which is a very nice looking bar.
And as I'm walking up, I kind of whisper to the guys, "No, some of the actions by people may have gotten mixed up a little bit. It was just considered artistic license. I'm sorry if I got a little bit of the things that people did crossed with some people, but it just so you know, I've got the true story written down. This is more so just for flair." And I just kind of like kick open the doors. Hello.
All right, as you enter the room or the front door of the inn here, you see a very it's a very old inn. It's everything is nautically themed. It's patched together with old like components of ships. Like all the wood still kind of smells of the sea. And yeah, it's just a very well put together, nautically themed bar. And it's quite full, despite it looking empty. And as you kind of kick open the door, you actually see Gellin sitting at kind of one of the bigger tables, and it's like, the man I've been waiting for. And he kind of holds up his beer, and all the people around him have, follow suit and give it a bit of a cheer.
I do a little bow with a flourish.
They've definitely been. He's hyped you up a bit because he's excited to hear the story. He's a partier.
Awesome. I go straight up to the bar and I kind of hold out my hand. Like, I could use a quick drink if you don't mind. A big old tankard, if you will.
Yeah. He hands you one. He says, "This one's on Gellin."
Awesome. So I kind of walk over and just like set the tankard on the stage and do like try to do a little, I don't know, not a, what do you call it when you go on your hands? I think we already had this discussion here.
And spring?
Handspring.
Handspring, yeah, up onto the stage. And kind of call out to the crowd. Good evening, everyone. And I kind of wait for the rest of the crowd to start filtering in.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Is the crowd super jacked up?
The crowd's looking forward to it.
Oh.
Yeah.
The town, in general had a bit of a poor catch today. It's a bit of a gloomier day outside, so the town's looking for some excitement.
Yeah. So
Where's Bobson?
Before he starts to do anything, I'm gonna walk up to the stage and I'm gonna whisper, "Do it spicy," and I'm gonna cast guidance on him.
Oh,
Nice.
And I'm gonna go back to my seat.
I'm gonna call back over to the table. Could one of you grab Bobson real quick? Please and thank you.
I'll shuffle over that way.
Better not be me. I don't even really know where I am right now.
Give
I'm
him,
really
give him a
fucking
poke
drunk.
with my give him a poke with my walking stick. Hey, Bobson,
Yes.
You should probably come inside. It's about to start. You
Yes,
too, Sigfold.
I thought we were going to the snapping lion. I don't see any lions here.
Well, this is a snapping. Actually, I thought we were going there too. I don't know. He's on the stage. Let's probably should just go inside.
Oh, very well. Just thought this was the wrong place, is all.
Okay.
I'll start walking back in.
So I guess to kind of set the scene a little bit, Brett, I'm gonna move you guys over to the top floor so you can get a better idea. But this like place you're in is completely open. Like this is the view from the top floor.
I can't see anything.
I forgot to move.
It's all black for me right now.
Oh, control ping.
Oh, never mind. There it is. I found it. Yeah.
What's the
Gotcha.
ping to move people? Shift ping. There we go.
Hold shift, yeah.
So there's kind of like the balcony all around you above, and there is there's a few people dotted that
Holy
have been
shit.
staying up there. There's the old mast from like an old frigate that is extended right over the stage that's kind of holding a few chandeliers up to almost make it seem like a spotlight. It's a pretty well put together like performing area. Like
This is a lot bigger deal than I expected it to be. That's pretty sweet.
yeah, Gellen's likes his parties and has put some money into this inn.
Gotcha. All right. So I kind of look up. I see that mostly everyone's gathered, and I say, "Now, just before I start, make sure that your tankards are full and you're ready to start guzzling at any point in time. It's going to be a blast."
Ooh.
And kind of just wait just a little bit longer for people to get their drinks and fill them right up.
Yeah.
And
You kind of see the bartender actually walking around to like give people new ales.
perfect. Okay. Now then, those of you who do not know me, I am Calendar Serendir, scholar from the College of Greyhawk. I've made my way down to this land of Saltmarsh, and I've been enraptured by your quaint town, your fantastic people, and your very welcoming fellowship. Now, while I've spent only a little bit of time here, I've fallen in quite deeply in love with your small town, and just the other 2 days ago, I managed to go on possibly the greatest adventure I have ever seen. We went and we had solved the mystery of the. Sorry, I'm looking at my own page now. Fenbrook Manor.
There's an audible gasp from the crowd.
Oh yes, I know. It's rather surprising. Sounds like that it has not been explored in quite some time, but with some of the most courageous of your townsfolk and a few others from abroad, we managed to gather our courage, make our way into the building, and stay an entire night in Fenbrook Manor. And I kind of like cast like a minor illusion with like ooh kind of noise, and with a couple like little strums of my lute. No. Sit back, relax, listen to this great tale that I have told for you. So I start to go through a bit of it's like part poem, part song, and part like, I don't like one man play kind of situation. Where I kind of go through and try to act out parts, and I
do it all with a flourish, a couple of strums of my lute, all at different points in time. And I start playing the lute with a bit of a 3P flair to it. It all began with a wicker goat, and Herman the Staggered began to gloat. Fenbrook Manor must be explored. This time will be different, I swear. Though we all knew he was a little bit floored, the most courageous in the crowd could not be ignored. And then I go do 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 do, like just kind of like start strumming up and try and pump up the different pump up the introductions to the main characters of the story. Bor and Richard, who were men of the boat. Calendar was a scholar, and this is the song he wrote. Bobson napped when he was bored, and Wendell the Brave explored without a care. Gringus, whose strength greatly adored, and Sigvald the Magnificent, who chose not to bring a sword. And the song keeps going on, just plugging away. And then slowly it starts to slow down. And I kind of like play it like we're tracking along, and then it slowly starts to slow down to kind of show like people are kind of getting a little bit freaked out and nervous. Eventually, it slows down to almost the lute playing slows down to almost a near stop. The rest of the crowd all fucked off. Their fear caused our heroes to scoff. They then delved deep into the decrepit Fenbrook. The first floor was dark, dank, and creepy. They looked in every cranny and nook. Gringus splattered some spiders that flowed like a brook. And I kind of like go blong, 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 like he's squishing some spiders. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say. Gringus was splattered some spiders that flowed like a brook. I could try my best to do a Gringus impersonation. Richard descended the basement and he heard a cough. It came from brigands slurping slop from a trough. Some strike from Gore's lance, all it took. Although the fight, Bobson rather sleepy, and they moved on to the next room without second look. And that's when I don't know how to do a Logan impression. That's when Sigvald found their diary book.
I think if you just didn't say anything, that'd be a Logan impression. He doesn't fucking show up.
And then once again, like the lute was kind of playing at a rough and tumble battle type sound of music. And then it starts to go down back to that creepy tone again. Now, this is where our story gets odd. Those of you faint of heart should pray to your god. A metal door was all that separated them from death. But of course, Wendell the Brave was not deterred. And I tried to like put on a little bit of, I don't know, kind of look like Wendell looking kind of confused and distracted as I go through each of the steps there.
Perfect.
Pale, clacking monstrosities attacked, but drew no breath. It was a sight that I, Calendar, will never forget. A sudden appearance then stunned the squad. Out of the shadows, the undead form of Fenbrook did trod. His dark experiments bestowed a horrifying side effect. A most deadly scuffle between life and death then occurred. It was a close call, but the heroes slew this reject, and thus they should have earned all the respect. And then it starts to pick right back up again. So that's how they solved the mystery of Fenbrook Manor. Now I hope my story kept you all enamored. You can thank your heroes by buying them some ale. Sling back your liquor, have a good time. Keep an ear open. And then I kind of waited for a bit and wait for the crowd to have a bit of a drink, and then finally raise up my hand for 1 second. Keep your ear open for our next exciting tale. May there always be wind found in your sail. And then just like kind of like finish it off. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot the one other thing that I meant to mention. When I talk about Fenbrook, I kind of take a moment to. I should have done that before the Out of the Shadows, the undead form of Fenbrook did Trod. I actually would have used Disguise Self to make myself look like Fenbrook and take a couple minutes to like shamble around and like lurch out towards people in the crowd. Forgot to mention that part, but and yeah, so then that was it, and I try to put on that good show.
Gringus
Window
starts
just
slamming the
claps
table.
furiously.
Yeah, the crowd is absolutely loving it.
Woo!
The crowd's like all
Mr.
cheering.
Bible, I did not sleep that much.
I mean, you kind of did.
Gringus is gonna try to crawl up on stage and go hug him.
Oh, I'm gladly accepting that
Yeah.
crap.
It's about a 3
I'm
foot.
gonna call the rest of them up to try and get everybody up on stage to kind of cheer their way to the crowd, kind of make themselves known.
All right, yeah, it's about a 3 foot tall stage, but the stairs are just right here.
Window goes this way.
I step up in one step.
The crowd is loving it. There's some of them thrown a few like copper, silver, and gold pieces. The whole crowd's
You can
kind
get
of
paid for this?
cheering, and yeah, everybody absolutely loved that performance.
All right.
Gringus is gonna go for his patented Gringus flop right off the stage onto the ground.
like the belly flop onto the ground.
Yeah, he's pretty hammered.
All right, you kind of walk up to the edge of the stage and make a big belly flop, and the few people that were in the way just sort of move, and there's just a huge thud as you hit the ground.
And I just hold up my beer. Yeah! Thank you. We'll be here for a long. I'll be here all week. Kind of like calling out to the crowd, and yeah, and that's my performance.
I was gonna make you do like a series of performance checks, but I think it was good enough that I'm just not gonna. You did great.
Yeah, I kind of went dark for the first half of the session by typing that shit up.
That was awesome.
Forgot how hard rhyming is.
Yep.
But yeah, so the crowd, kind of goes absolutely wild, and it does throw a decent amount of money. Well, depending on what level of adventurer you talk to, but you can get about 5 gold, about 30 silver, and about 45 copper. So, some of them are pretty broke. Gellin would have been like one of the people that threw a gold piece or two.
Awesome, thank you.
And then, yeah, you hear Gellin yell from kind of where he's sitting. I guess I could put him on the map. But yeah, he yells out, "Hey, Hannah, bring these guys a beer." That was a fantastic performance.
Pardon?
I said, "Hey, that was a fantastic performance. I'm glad that you came to this inn to perform. It was worth all the wait."
Well, there's more stories where that come from. You keep getting us work, and we'll keep on pumping out stories for you.
All right. And he kind of bids you adieu because he's got his group of people that he has to get back to. He, comes up and shakes your hand and thanks for doing that. I'll see you around.
Yes, will do.
And yeah, so you guys kind of drink for the rest of the night. I don't know if you stay here or go back to the other one, but
We're going back.
the section of
Probably
people,
go back to work.
basically Herman and his compatriots, do walk back to the other bar.
I'd stick around here for quite some time and kind of feed a little bit off of that last performance and just play some of my more regular kind of standard shit and just try and make a little bit of cash that night and kind of try to feed off that wave a little bit.
He's trying to sell his mixtapes now.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, to make a few more, you gotta give me a performance check with advantage because the crowd's still buzzing.
Sure. All right.
But a lot of the people did kind of disperse. There was a pretty decent amount of people that were here for.
Yep. No, fair enough.
But yeah, with a 21, you make about 2 more gold worth of silver, silver and copper, I guess. But we'll just say it's gold because I don't want to.
Thank you.
But yeah, the crowd loved the performance, and I think that's where we'll call it for the night.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, I already know who I'm voting for inspiration.
Yep.
Sigval.
Yep.
Galindor.
Obviously,
Galindor.
Yep.
knocking it out of the park. That was awesome.
Yep. I don't think in all the games I've played I've actually seen a player put that much work into a bard performance.
I don't know if I ever will again. Maybe if I've got time ahead of time to do something like that, but that was harder than I thought it would be.
That was awesome. Reminded me of Kilvius's first few sessions of
Yeah.
That was dope.
Kind of forgot how to rhyme.
Eventually, I found out that there's like barely anything that rhymes with death. I was stuck on that for a while, and then I'm like, "Fuck it, we're going to get instead of prep." So that's why I was like, but yeah.
So yeah, I guess the last thing I need is I need 2 D7s and a D20 rolled.
Oh no.
Go to D20.
Like 2d7 separate, or
Yeah, so like one of you guys do 1 D7 and somebody else do the other.
I'll do the
What?
second one, I guess. Or the first one.
for some reason mine didn't work the first time. Oh, well.
Curious as to what these are for.
Yeah, I know, right?
Especially the
Clean the-
D7s.
One day you'll learn.
But today is not that day.
But all right. So yeah, that's the end of this session. We'll pick up tomorrow with our descent in Tavernus. Next week, I believe we'll continue as usual. Yeah. But yeah, remember to check out the YouTube channel if you want to see any of the other VODs. They should all be uploaded, except for tonight's, obviously.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks for watching, everyone.